Hello, and welcome to another edition of Rail Rangers on the Road. The Midwest Rail Rangers, our 501c3 nonprofit organization, presents onboard educational programs across the Midwest. You may have caught us on the South Shoreline, between Chicago and South Bend, Indiana, aboard the Sky Parlor car at the Wisconsin Great Northern, on an Amtrak charter organized by the 20th Century Railroad Club of Chicago, on private rail excursions featuring heritage equipment, and at various outreach events such as Train Fest and Mad City Rail. In March of 2020, the coronavirus sidelined most of our programs. After taking a few months off, we returned with virtual programs, taking you to exciting rail destinations across Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, and Wisconsin. With 2021 now here, we hope to begin the transition back to doing in-person programs. During the months ahead, though, we will continue to bring you new virtual programs as well. So sit back and relax and enjoy another edition of Rail Rangers on the Road. Well, hello everybody.
Hi, Robert. How are you today?
I'm doing good. We usually don't do both of these together, but we are here. We've done these now for almost a year. It's just after 7 o'clock on Sunday, May 23rd, 2021. And we've done these virtual programs for the Midwest Rail Rangers and the 20th Century Rail Club and trainweb.com for almost a year now. We've done our virtual programs, and we've covered all 7 states. We've done programs in Illinois, Iowa, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Missouri. And so we've gone all over the Midwest, bringing you these programs for 20 some plus episodes now, whatever episode this is, but we've done 20 or so for you, and are rolling along with our programs here. Almost Memorial Day of 2021. Hope everybody has a good Memorial Day. But anyway, so where are we?
I don't know. Do you know?
Look at the big sign behind you, silly.
International
Falls. Yeah, so this is the furthest north we've been on our journeys to bring you programs every 2 weeks. And why are we in International Falls?
Well, I think we have a big surprise, especially for those motor car fans.
That's right. Well, we have our friend Lynton. He's the engineer at the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad, and he lives up here in International Falls, and he is a big motor car fan. And this was a whole genre of rail fanning that I didn't know about. People who like to ride motor cars, and I get what they just ride them on abandoned railroads or whatnot?
No, they get permission from the railroads to ride
from
on
real railroads?
Real railroads, yes.
Okay, all right. So, it's this whole genre that I didn't know about. I knew about model railroading and people who are into streetcars and engines and passenger cars or whatnot. But so we heard about this over the winter into the beginning of spring here of 2021. And he invited us up to International Falls, which is about a 5-hour drive up from our headquarters in Barron, Wisconsin. But we finally, weather's warmed up now, almost Memorial Day, and we decided to take the drive up here to International Falls and visit our friend Lynton, and he's got two. I guess he owns 5 motor cars total. 2 of them are here, and he has a 75-foot track.
That's right.
We have not been there yet. We're going to be heading there in just a minute. A 75-foot track set up in his backyard.
That's cool.
Is what he told me. So we're about to go see this, and he's going to give us all the railroads I've ridden and we've ridden together, as far as the Rail Rangers and just our on our own. I've never rode on a motor car before, but apparently he's going to give us a ride on his motor car.
That's right.
He invited us over. So we are live here in International Falls. It is just about 7 minutes after 7 o'clock right now. So what we need to do, since we are broadcasting this live, what we're going to do is it's about a 3-minute drive over to Lynton's house at our secret undisclosed location. We're not going to give his address. We don't want tons of people showing up at Lynton's house. But we got to go make that 3-minute drive right now. So we're going to pause. What we're going to have to do here is now pause the live feed, because we're going to drive over. So if you give me about 3.5 to 4 minutes, we're going to put up some pictures of other people enjoying motor cars. We'll put a little bit of music behind it for everybody to enjoy. And then we'll pick up our live broadcasts here in just a few minutes, because we have to drive to Lynton's house.
That's right.
And that's a secret undisclosed location. So we're going to have to cut our feed off, and then we'll join you back live. Let's see. So it's about 7:08 right now, probably about 7:12, 7:13. So give me just about 3 or 4 minutes, and we're going to go head over to Lynton's house and go ahead and do that. So enjoy some pictures people have sent in of other people enjoying motor car rides.
That's right. All right, let's head
All
on
right,
over.
let's head on over.
Do you remember rail speeders? Maybe not. Also called motor cars, they were used by railroad workers to inspect and repair the track. The railroad stopped using them in the 1980s because pickup trucks fitted with railroad wheels are more versatile. Most speeders found their way to the scrap heap, but a few dedicated people have preserved and restored rail speeders for occasional weekend adventures on the rails. Riding the rails has always had a romance to it, but speeders bring you up close and personal with the steel. The ride is bumpy, noisy, and windy. Maybe that's why it's so much fun. And speeders attract curious folks everywhere they go.
I want to tell you a little bit about this car. I took possession of it in 1990 from the Milwaukee Road. Was the Sioux line at the time. After doing some history on the car and picking it up from West Allis, Wisconsin, where it was, found out the car was built in 1970, June of 1970, and delivered to Toma, Wisconsin, where their maintenance away facility was. In 1977, the car was rebuilt by the Milwaukee Road in Toma, Wisconsin. There's the back of the car, as you can see, is a solid back panel. That does not come standard on the MT-19s, which is what the model of this is. It's a Fairmont MT-19.
Our friend Chuck Haraver photographed this very car in service at Rondout, Illinois in December 1985.
Took possession of it in 1990, as I said. Had it for a few years. In 2000, we completed a 3-year restoration of the motor car from the ground up, and this is the end result of it. And we've been enjoying it ever since then. We've probably logged pretty close to 8,000 to 10,000 miles on it, and just enjoy every minute of it. Every time we get to run it, rain or shine, doesn't matter. We still have a good time.
Welcome to the Riverview and Rainy Lake and Rainy River Railroad.
So this is the, if you look down here, that's where it goes down. That's
That creek, I own property all the way to the creek, and that creek runs right into the Rainy River. The Rainy River's right over there.
and so we're just less than a mile from Canada.
Not even that.
Not even.
Probably a half mile across that way.
Oh, okay.
If that. You
Nice.
just got the river there. That's all.
Pretty much.
The river. This creek goes. The river is right over there. It kind of goes at that angle.
Okay. I wonder what's in here.
Behind door number 2.
Yes. It's the 423. Yeah. I thought he'd be out here all the time.
No.
No.
He ties it.
I wouldn't stand on the right of way.
Robin, I'm going to need your help.
All right.
Push. I'm going to.
You want to
bring it out
film?
so we can ride it back down in.
We're gonna ride. Okay, we're gonna ride it.
Wow.
I haven't started it for years, so I can't do that.
Oh yeah, for real. It hasn't
I'm
come
gonna
out
have to
that
get
shed
behind
for.
it. And I got to release
I've
it.
been here for 24 years.
Okay, just tell me what to do.
You get all the way behind her and push.
Oh, all the way back here?
She's back against wheel stop.
Okay.
This is a heavy car.
Okay.
We're a little
I'm
down.
not as strong as those guys on the, as Brian, but I'll do my best.
Huh?
Oh, so back here?
Get back here and
Okay.
push.
You just
It's
push?
quite a push for a ways, and but I think we can do it.
Okay. Oh,
Oh, looky there. Robert's pushing his first motor car.
I'm getting this all on video, right?
I am.
Push it all the way up to the depot.
To the depot.
All the way to the depot.
And I had the guy grade this. He graded too much of a grade in there.
Ah. I'm learning my pizza tonight. Watch yourself.
Yep.
She goes by herself when she gets done.
Okay.
Okay.
You really haven't taken this out in years?
Huh?
You haven't taken this out in a long time?
I've been here 24 years.
You never seen it?
No.
Oh. Huh.
See if I can go get a rag or something, wipe these seats off.
All right.
And have a ride.
What railroad was this originally?
Huh?
What railroad was this?
Milwaukee Road.
This is Milwaukee Road too.
No, this is MD. This is MD&W.
MD&W. Okay.
I'm gonna get a rag.
All right. So apparently this is a
Back and forth.
hobby that a lot of people are into. We were filming one of our segments in Mount Pleasant, Iowa, and the guy had a whole bunch of those. We hope to bring you sometime. So we got the neighbors out, and yeah, we're showing everybody the kind of the hobby of motor cars. And as we mentioned at the intro that Candace did, we are here in International Falls, stone's throw from the border, as we just showed you.
Icebox of the nation.
Icebox of the nation. That's right. And we are with our engineer from the Wisconsin Great Northern, Lynton Brooks. And he's going to see if we can get a ride back to the other depot. Okay, his garage, train car garage. So, yeah, we'll see if we can do this before the sun goes down here, because it's about 7:10 or so. So we'll see how this all goes. We're going to record whatever happens. We're going to record it here. What is that, about 75 feet of track or so?
Yeah, about that.
So where did you get the rails from?
The railroad gave it to me.
Oh, okay.
The railroad gave me this car. I used to work for the railroad. You know.
So Milwaukee Road gave you the...
No, the MD&W down
Oh,
there
they did. They gave you the tracks too. Wow. You gotta make sure you whistle.
So I don't have any air now, so
Robert has plenty of air.
Well, I do. I am told that I have a lot of hot air.
I just want you guys to be able to go back to the railroad and say you had a train ride on this trip.
Well, yes.
And I've got this equipment. We could put it on the rails down there and run. I got equipment down there we could be running on the rails if we ever get to the point where it's feasible to do that.
Okay. So you can fit 4 people in here then.
Yeah, and I've got it by direction so I could run the car without turning the car. So I got headlights on both ends and everything.
Okay.
This is run on the Wisconsin Great Mountain.
It has.
Oh yeah, quite a bit.
It would be a lot more fun to have a Y in your yard.
Well,
You could extend out and build a Y.
I had a guy here one day, yeah, and I said, he said, well, where did this track come from? I said, you see where the creek is, and it goes uphill on the other side of the creek. So there used to be a trestle across there.
Oh, yeah?
This was a part of the MD&W's main track going west at one time.
Yeah.
We
And
have
I can tell you some oceanfront property in Arizona too. You gonna go too?
Sure.
Okay. Three seats. And if the brakes don't work, you end up in Canada.
Or in the creek,
or
not
in the
Canada.
creek. Yeah. This is live, so anything can happen.
Well, see if you can climb on.
All right. Where are you sitting?
I'll sit over here.
All right. You want us over here?
Yeah.
All right.
Take the camera.
Candace is going to go for a ride too. Got to go for a train ride.
I have to get my feet on here anymore.
Get your seatbelt. That's how you do it.
I'm a little younger when I first had this.
Yeah. See, I'm going to face backwards so I can't see what's coming. Is this the first class compartment?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you like to go first class.
Yes, this is the parlor car.
First class. We need to ring the bell before we start, right?
There we go. Yeah.
Of course.
Ready to go?
All right.
Eyeball.
Wow.
We got the crossbuck here, so you know it is a crossing hand.
There we go. And the brakes still work. That's good. Very fun.
Safe
Great.
and sound.
That was your first motor car ride?
It was.
Mine too.
This is a putt-putt, so this is one of those engines that, to reverse it, you have to change the spark to the
Okay.
other direction, and
Okay.
the engine actually starts turning the other way.
Okay.
It's one of those kind of engines.
Mhm.
I had one time. I came down in here, and I needed to come out of here. I needed a lot of power, and I powered up to come up this grade, see, and she didn't reverse herself. And I
Oh.
didn't have wheel stops on this at that time, and I started back that way, and I got a hold of the brake real quick, or I would have been right down in the creek.
So you've had some close calls then.
So after that, I got my welder friend to come, and we made wheel stops and put them on the rails, welded them on the rails.
Okay. Is this the same speed as the other ones? That about 25 to 30 would be a good
Well,
speed for this, or
yeah, this will go right on. This has a history. This is very historical. This car was an original that ran on the old MD&W. MD&W, which is a Minnesota, Dakota, and Weston.
is that what it is? Okay, I don't know much about the history of that.
Was a line. At one time, over the years of trackage they had over 1,000 miles of track.
Really?
They had a main line that went out about 30 miles to the west. They had a line. They went down on the Northern Pacific and took off on trackage. And they've had several lines, and they were basically logging lines, but they ran the main lines into those logging areas. Well, this car here was one that lots of times the loggers would be out there. They'd be 50, 60, 70 miles away from International Falls.
Wow.
They want to go to town on the weekend.
Okay.
They'd go up to town on this. This thing would run up there.
Oh.
My next door neighbor, John, my neighbor now, his dad worked out in the woods out there. And they had a main line, and it spread off, and they had all these branches that went into the woods where they did the logging.
Mm-hmm.
He would measure the wood and all that for the company.
Okay.
He had his own motor car out there, and he started digging around. This is before I put oak on here, but the original wood. He started looking around. He found his boss's initials carved into it.
Really?
And that would have been back in the early 1930s.
Oh, wow.
This car has a lot of history here.
So this one's much older than the one we saw in your garage. Huh?
Well, I don't think it was as old. No, it probably didn't go back to the early 30s. It might have been late 30s.
Okay.
I put this stuff on. It was an open car. This roof, I built all this.
Okay.
I thought I was going to go motor carring because I had joined the motor car group, and I thought I put a lot of money into this, and it turns out that it's not a car suitable for that. So I started buying other motor cars for that. But I put a lot of money into it, thinking that that's what I was going to do with it, is take it around.
So they would have had an open air one, despite being all the snow and the inclement weather that you'd get up here.
They sometimes had windshields for them. But this one, I built this with the idea that I didn't put doors on it, but I built it so that you could run it in the rain. I've run it in the rain.
Okay.
I ran it down on the Chippewa, down out of Duran.
Okay.
Down into the bottoms there, down in there. And I remember my wife and I were down there one time with this car. We're trying to come back, and this a turkey landed, and I'd run up on the turkey.
Yeah.
And Faley would say, "Don't hit the turkey! Don't hit the turkey!" So I'd stop. And of course the turkey would stand there. So I'd get off, the turkey would move back. I'd get back on the car and start moving. Stop, you're going to run over the turkey. So I stopped. This went on for about an hour and a half.
Just hit the thing.
I finally got him up to a place where he finally ran off the turkey. If I had just gone along, he would have partly flown and, ran and flown like they do.
Maybe he would have got right here and sat with you.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been a problem. But that turkey held us hostage that evening coming back up there.
The pails of motor rail car.
There you go.
Wow. Well, very cool. Thank you for the ride. That was really neat.
Yeah, this car has a lot of history. It is a Fairmont. Fairmont was a big builder of motor cars.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can see.
they still build their predecessor company still builds maintenance of way equipment. A lot of our stuff, our maintenance of way equipment's built by them.
Fairmount. So good brand. Very cool.
This actually, I got a three-chime locomotive air horn on here, and there's a history to how I got that.
Okay.
I wanted to put an air horn on here, but I didn't. Actually, originally there was no way to do it. Really, I didn't have the power. I didn't have the air anyway to get the air, and at that time. I was still doing consulting work for the MD&W down here, and the general manager that I used to work for, and I did consulting work for, he was retiring, had a retirement party. Then a fellow this is a guy that owns what they call that, down at the cities, what do they call that? The commercial.
Oh, Minnesota Commercial?
Yeah,
Sure.
he still owns a Minnesota Commercial.
Oh, wow.
He was a consultant and did a lot of labor relations consulting.
Okay.
And we had some labor relations problems up here, and I contacted him and I brought him in and had him help us on some of our labor issues on the MD&W.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that the general manager told him that I wanted an air horn, and he didn't have one on the property, an actual.
Oh, okay.
He went out and he bought that, and he presented it to me at the retirement dinner. And at the retirement dinner, they passed out sheets of paper because we had the former general manager of the railroad here. And his track guy from Fort Francis, because the railroad also ran the railroad in Fort Francis.
Okay.
So he was here, and they got pictures of them pushing this car back and forth. So that came out, and they said. They said, all you folks probably don't know there's another railroad headquartered here in International Falls. They said, take a look at the sheet. It showed a picture of this here. And then I was presented with the air horn at that time. Then I had to figure out how to make it work. But it is a three-chime locomotive air horn. It'll make, it uses an awful lot of air. I put a lot of air reservoirs on here, but oh yeah, you can hear it.
Okay.
5 miles away.
Oh, good.
No problem.
Okay. Neighbors just love that.
Well, I don't do it, but
No.
But then one day I built this railroad, and I was dreaming one night that I had a motor car out on the railroad, and the FRA came along and was citing me for track defects.
Okay.
On here.
Yeah. Well, then now they'll know about this. So
one day I was out in South Dakota at where we were doing a NACOA trip, and lo and behold, a former FRA track inspector. He worked out of the cities, but he used to be the track the roadmaster at the MD&W years ago.
Okay.
And he knew me, and we got to talking. I told him about my dream, He says, I know about your railroad.
Uh-oh.
He said,
The feds are on to you.
He says, someday, he says, when I come up to town, he never did it. He said, I'll take some of my old farms and go through and do a track inspection for you.
Did you pass?
He never did it. Of course, I have no authority on something like this. But,
Sure.
But, it was funny. But a lot of history goes with this stuff here. And, I've been on shot lines all over the Midwest with motor cars. Faley and I used to do that, multiple trips every year all over the place. We've been in North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Upper Peninsula, Michigan, Iowa, Nebraska, all over the place. I've ridden the one out at the Black Hills Central,
Okay.
with a motor car.
Wow.
So
they supply the track, and you just bring your own motor car, and
well,
they
it's
can...
a group, and they
okay.
they talk to the railroad. That's what you have to have. You have to have the railroad. Lots of times the railroad will even escort the trip.
Okay.
I've been hundreds of miles on railroads
Mhm.
with motor cars, all day trips. I've gone on an overnight trip where we went up to Ontonagon, Michigan,
right at the end of US 45, I think.
well, at the end of the Milwaukee Road line.
Yeah.
We went up there, which I think they've ripped up now.
I think so.
But we followed the freight up there. The freight was ahead of us, and we followed it up. And when Faley and I stayed in a bed and breakfast up there, and we got gas in the morning, and of course we had about 30 cars or so. We went around the Y while the freight was switching. We went around the Y there, and
yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
So this motor carring is a lot of fun. Maybe I can get motor cars running down there, and you guys can take a ride.
That was fun. So, what was your first thought of your first motor car ride?
Well,
I think it's just the experience.
Well,
yeah.
You see, what I used to do when we had Pumpkin Train, which used to be a Pumpkin Train, used to supply about a third of our revenue a year.
Wow.
That was through the month of October.
Yeah.
And I would run a train out I'd run like 5 trains a day out.
Okay.
And I'd get the people off, and I had my motor car I got a trailer car, a rider car to go with it. And I had it sitting there, and I'd get a number of people. I'd say, "Come on, get on there," and then I'd run the motor car out, give them a ride, and come bring them back. And then they'd look around. Finally, I'd take a train back and start over again with another group. We did a lot of that. I've given them a lot. Charles used to have his rail fan group come, and I've given them rides all over the railroad with the motor cars. So
nice.
Yeah, it's a fun thing.
Well, thank you everyone for watching our motor car series.
That was fun. Our first time.
That was awesome.
Did you think we were gonna? I almost thought we were gonna crash to the garage a little bit.
A little bit, but he has those wheel stops. He said that he had welded in several years ago, so he didn't end up in the creek behind his house.
Yeah, that was kind of a little
into
scary.
The rainy lake.
Would you do it again?
Of course, that was awesome.
Maybe we'll do another segment on. I know a guy down in Mount Pleasant, Iowa, who has some motor cars.
That would be awesome.
So maybe we'll do a program in June or July on that one. So
join us June the 6th for our next virtual tour.
2 weeks from tonight, June 6th, 2021, we'll be back with yet another program for you.
So from International Falls and the Canadian border.
It is literally, right? We're gonna spin around. Right, there it is. That is the border. Right there.
We'll see you June 6th.
All right, June 6th. Bye.